Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gumansing. Topping our newscast, the outcry for the Supreme Court to tackle an equal citizenship rights case is growing louder. And Delegate to Congress Stacey Plaskett is adding pressure from a legal standpoint. The delegate revealed that she's filing an amicus brief in March, stressing the need for the highest court in the land to settle the matter once and for all. News 2's April Knight has that story.
Delegate Stacey Plaskett is joining the list of legal advocates for equal citizenship rights for residents of the U.S. territories. In March, Plaskett is filing an amicus brief in support of the growing call for the U.S. Supreme Court to review whether Congress indeed has the power to deny birthright citizenship in U.S. territories.
I'm going to be filing the brief and inviting former Congress members, former delegates, present governors and present governors and former governors of the territories to also join me in this.
Former U.S. Solicitor General Ted Olson has filed a petition for the Supreme Court to hear the case of some passport-holding American Samoans who are currently not considered citizens. The case, which argues that Congress cannot just turn on or off the citizenship clause of the 14th Amendment, can have repercussions for all U.S. territories. We the People Project founder Neil Weir, who champions equal citizenship rights, says he's excited about Plaskett getting on board.
Congresswoman Plaskett's been very supportive of our advocacy both inside and outside the courtroom since even before she actually joined office, and we're very excited to have her support again as we petition the Supreme Court to hear the issue of birthright citizenship and the continuing application of the insular cases in U.S. territories.
Plaskett revealed Tuesday that they also have another ace in the hole.
We've gotten Paul Clement to agree to be the lead attorney for our amicus brief and to draft it and write it and work on it with us. He succeeded Ted Olson as a Solicitor General. I believe in our lifetime we will have complete full citizenship, complete voting rights, and be completely a part of the American dream.
Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
A decision by the Supreme Court on whether it will take up that case is expected by the end of term, which ends in June. Count on 2 to keep you updated. Meanwhile, Virgin Islands travelers need to listen to this. An advisory from the State Department reveals that passport applications could experience a slowdown within the year, and even until 2017. This is because of an initiative that began 10 years ago that has repercussions due this year. Their advice? Better get those passport applications in. News 2's April Knight has details.
If you have a United States passport expiring any time in 2016, the U.S. State Department has a message for you: renew it now. The reason goes back to the Western Hemisphere Travel Initiative, which went into effect in 2006. For the first time, passports were required for Americans returning by air from Mexico, Canada, the Caribbean, and Bermuda. Back then, millions of citizens scrambled to apply for their first passports, and many were stranded. 18 million passports were issued in 2006 and 2007, and they were all set to expire within 10 years. The State Department is now anticipating a significant fraction of those 18 million passport holders to renew at around this time, which could cause a backlog for everybody else. Adding to the time crunch is the fact that many European countries will not accept passports within 6 months of their expiration date. The warning from the State Department jeopardizes an alternative means of identification for some Virgin Islanders. Currently, VI-issued driver's licenses and IDs are non-compliant with the Real ID Act and might not be recognized for travel through the TSA by 2018. State Department officials continue to urge citizens to act soon on those passport renewals by mail, or if applying for the first time, in person at your local passport office. Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
If you are planning to apply for renewal or a new passport in the territory, those numbers are 774-4024 for St. Thomas and 773-6449 for St. Croix. You can also visit www.ltg.gov.vi and click on their passport division. Finance Commissioner Valdemar Collins, custodian of the Government Insurance Fund, said that effective immediately, cash payments for the Workers' Compensation Insurance Premium will no longer be accepted at the Office of Government Insurance Fund in the St. Thomas and St. Croix districts. Accepted forms of payment are personal or cashier's check, money orders, and credit cards. The department apologizes for any inconvenience this may cause, and they say your cooperation is appreciated. If you have any questions or concerns, you can call Ms. Marion Thomas Hewitt, who's the director of the Government Insurance Fund Office. That number is 340-774-4750, extension 2255. Senator Jackson is asking the residents of the territory to remain vigilant in their efforts to protect themselves and their families from the Aedes aegypti mosquito. He's asking for the Department of Health to be proactive in identifying open cisterns and water catchments throughout the territory. They should not be waiting for residents to call them. If this is a problem, a global problem, he said, then we should treat it as such and do some investigating. Every community in this territory should be evaluated to determine if there are large stagnant bodies of water in the immediate area. This is not a situation, he says, where the government should wait for reports. This is a worldwide health emergency. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization has declared that the Zika virus is a pressing issue that concerns the global community. Last night, the agency stated that the emergency public health status was warranted because of how fast the mosquito-borne virus has been spreading. Additionally, the organization is alarmed by the suspected link to babies born with microcephaly.
The Zika virus was classified as a public health international emergency by the World Health Organization last night.
I am now declaring that the recent cluster of microcephaly and other neurological abnormalities reported in Latin America, following a similar cluster of French Polynesia in 2014, constitutes a public health emergency of international concern.
The organization is focusing on ways to control mosquito populations and the prevention of mosquito bites. The prevention of mosquito bites is especially geared towards pregnant women or women trying to become pregnant because the Zika virus has been linked to both neurological and abnormalities of the head in newborn babies. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, as well as the Virgin Islands Department of Health, are working aggressively to disseminate information and tips on preventative measures to withstand from mosquito-borne viruses.
We'll be engaging other agencies to help us with a door-to-door program where we're going to be providing education and other resources for every resident of the territory.
In regards to the tourism industry in the territory, the World Health Organization has made public that they do not have any justifications to prohibit travel or trade. According to information provided on the CDC's website, DEET, picaridin, oil of lemon eucalyptus, or PMD, and products containing IR3535 are repellents that can be used to prevent from contracting the Zika virus. A preliminary action plan has been established according to a press release issued by the Virgin Islands Department of Health. In the meantime, residents are asked to report stagnant water and or get rid of standing water in and around their properties. Penny Brown, News 2.
The Virgin Islands Health Department, in conjunction with the CDC, will continue to test specimens from suspected cases of the Zika virus at no cost to residents. Mosquito nets and repellents are available at clinics on all 3 islands. Well, taking a look overseas into Honduras, fumigation and cleaning efforts began. Health employees started efforts to battle mosquitoes, which can transmit the Zika virus, dengue, and chikungunya. Here we see fumigation efforts at a school. The president, Hernandez, declared a sanitary emergency on Monday. The presidential candidates hit the ground running in New Hampshire, some trying to build on the momentum of Iowa, while others are trying to get back on track. While the Republicans had a clear winner, the Democrats are stuck in a virtual tie. Diane Gallagher has the latest from Des Moines.
Fresh off a victory in the Iowa caucuses, Ted Cruz has set his sights on the next battle.
We're encouraged going on to New Hampshire, going on to South Carolina, going on to compete and win this primary, and then win the general election and together turn this country around.
The Texas senator got 28% of the votes in last night's caucuses, 4 points ahead of Donald Trump. And despite a second-place finish, Trump says he's confident of an overall win.
We will go on to get the Republican nomination, and we will go on to easily beat Hillary or Bernie or whoever the hell they throw up there.
While Marco Rubio came in third, he's right on the heels of Trump.
For months, they told us we had no chance. For months, they told us because we offered too much optimism in a time of anger, we had no chance. For months, they told us because we didn't have the right endorsements or the right political connections, we had no chance.
The results were not as clear-cut for the Democrats, Hillary Clinton winning by a razor-thin margin.
In that last week, I had so many people come up to me and say that they had decided to support me, and it could not have been better. It was a great, great night.
Bernie Sanders says regardless of the loss, he still has the momentum.
This campaign has started in a very forceful way, starting way, way back and coming to a virtual tie. And we are going to fight here in New Hampshire.
At least two candidates won't be making the trip to New Hampshire. Democrat Martin O'Malley is calling it quits, as is the GOP's Mike Huckabee. Reporting in Des Moines, Iowa, I'm Diane Gallagher.
And keeping our eye on the economy, here's a look at the stock market watch at the New York Stock Exchange. As you can see, everything down. The Dow 295, NASDAQ 103, S&P 500 also down 36. Coming up on NEWS2, much more straight ahead is Dental Awareness Month. Find out what locally many are doing to recognize the month. Welcome back. WAPA continued progress through the weekend and on Monday with a cleanup following last week's oil spill. As you may recall, acting CEO Julio Reimer said Monday that over the last 3 days, the authority and its contractor, VI Resource Waste Management, completed both the shoreline cleanup and the cleaning of 40 boats in Christiansted Harbor that were affected by the spill incident. On Monday, personnel from WAPA and its contractor focused more of the effort on continuing the cleaning and inspection of the various components of the oil-water separation equipment, which became overwhelmed and led to the spilling of over 50 gallons of oil, according to Reimer. NEWS2 would like to correct an error in a couple of stories aired last week as we covered the termination of former WAPA CEO Hugo Hodges' contract. We aired the names and photos of all 8 board members who voted during an executive session. We mistakenly aired the wrong photo of board member Cheryl Boynes Jackson. A correct image of Ms. Jackson is right there on your screen. Again, we apologize for the error. As we reported earlier last week, the ships have been diverted to St. Thomas due to the effects of Winter Storm Jonas. Waco has some additional announcements. Carnival Splendor, originally set to berth at the Waco dock on Wednesday, February 3rd, will berth at the Austin Babe Monsanto Terminal. Emerald Princess, originally scheduled to berth at the Austin Babe Monsanto Terminal, will berth at the Waco dock. The ship will arrive at 6:30 a.m. and depart at 4 p.m. Well, February is National Children's Dental Health Month, and the Frederiksted Healthcare Dental Health Services have begun visiting elementary public schools like the Juanita Gardine School on St. Croix to promote dental health education and disease prevention. The students learn about proper brushing and flossing techniques, as well as learn about what to expect at a dental visit. Additionally, students learned about the significance of a well-balanced diet to maintain healthy smiles.
Hi, yes, we're here from Frederiksted Healthcare, and February is National Children's Dental Health Month. So every year we go out into the public schools and, we go ahead and promote dental health education and disease prevention and the importance and significance of proper oral health care. And it's important, again, to get the children, the parents involved, because at this age, they don't have the proper manual dexterity to manipulate the brush and get it and do everything. So, it all starts at home, again, with the balanced diet and making sure that the children understand the significance and the importance of keeping, the proper oral health care.
The Department of Licensing and Consumer Affairs stated that they are continuing to monitor the prices being charged to consumers by gas, grocery stores, and essential commodities retail business in the territory. The DLCA informed that they have information from recent studies that indicate that the price of oil per barrel continues to decrease on world markets. Therefore, the cost of transportation and electricity should increase as well. As a result, the DLCA has taken measures to bring relief to consumers of the Virgin Islands. Waste Management Authority says the Montbijou site has reopened today. The enhancement at the site represents the first in a series of planned improvements for bin sites throughout the territory. The improvements are being made in an effort to curb illegal dumping, they say, and to enhance the aesthetics and function of the site. On St. Croix, Concordia, and Cotton Valley are next in line. Well, Love City Live wrapped up on St. John over the weekend, their entertainment event of the year. It was a whole weekend of beach, music, boating, food, fun, and more. The event included an incredible lineup of renowned reggae artists: Visions Reggae Combo, Lion Soldiers Band, Ras Abijah, the Inity Band, Black Star Band featuring Blackness and Hugo Rankin. Events kicked off from last Wednesday and it ended on Sunday rather. On Friday there was an all-white party. One of the newest events was added this year, which was called Saturday on Reggae in the Ruins at Estate Susannaburg. Then Sunday was the Power Party. Here's more on the Susannaburg event.
We're known for doing the big, heavy international reggae concerts with the likes of Third World, Steel Pulse, Morgan Heritage, Dwayne Stevenson, Beres Hammond, Junior Reid. You know, those iconic names in reggae music. We're known for doing the big stage and just blowing it out that way. This year what we decided to do was kind of dial it back a bit and feature just some local talent and a local vibe. So we created an event. For the past 2 years, we've been working with a gentleman by the name of Ronnie Jones, who's one of the family members of the great estate Susannaburg. And for the past 2 years, we had an idea that we started cleaning up the property and, you know, uncovered some ruins on their property. It takes the spirit and the vibe and the energy of the people who actually live here, born here, breathe the air in the Virgin Islands. They set the tone that the folks who come in will indulge in. So, you know, it's a very interesting but festive type environment, and which was what existed in the Virgin Islands when I was growing up. And so we just try to bring that back.
Great event there. Stick around. Your News 2 Accurate with the forecast is coming up next.